calling drug companies, pressuring them to speed up the vaccine process. This is according to a source familiar with conversations that he's having. I want to bring in CNN political correspondent Sarah Murray, who is tracking this story. What's he saying to them, Sarah? Breaking news. President Trump has been personally calling drug companies, pressuring them to speed up the vaccine process. This is according to a source familiar with conversations that he's having. I want to bring in CNN political correspondent Sarah Murray, who is tracking this story. What's he saying to them, Sarah?
Well, look, Brianna, this is my reporting with Kevin Liptak that the president, who we know is very fixated on this vaccine and getting a vaccine before Election Day, has been calling drug companies and making it clear he wants us to move quicker, asking them if there's any way that they can speed this process up. And this is particularly worrisome in the president's conversation, scientists say, with Pfizer, because Pfizer has had this CEO who's out there and is just kind of busting the norms, predicting that he's going to have a vaccine, that they will know if it works by October, that it could move over to the FDA by this month. That is not something that we have seen from these other drug makers. And so scientists are watching this play out, and they're concerned that if you have this very bullish president who wants a vaccine before Election Day and this very bullish CEO that is clearly willing to break the norms of what these other drug makers are saying publicly, there could be a way that they come together and manage to speed up this process and perhaps cut corners in the regulatory process, which is a huge concern and something the FDA has spoken very publicly about and said, look, we want this to go through our normal process and through our career scientists, Brianna.
If a drug company were to bend to the pressure, Sarah, the vaccine would still have to go through the FDA approval process. But then there are also concerns of political pressure that's brewing there.
That's right. I mean, look, we saw the president and Mark Meadows publicly sort of make this guidance the FDA wanted to put out go away, this guidance that would have had these drug companies collect data for longer. So the FDA has been out here saying, essentially, we are talking directly to these vaccine makers. We are making it clear what we want from them. And Steve Hahn, the head of the FDA, has said this is going to go through our career scientists. Other top FDA officials have essentially threatened to resign if that's not the case. But there is a scenario that some might say is kind of a wild conspiracy theory, but this is a wild year. There's a scenario in which the president could bypass Steve Hahn and the FDA altogether, put pressure on HHS Secretary Alex Azar, and he could be the one who issues this emergency use authorization for a vaccine. Now, when we asked HHS about this, Brian Harrison, the chief of staff over there, insisted this was not going to happen, that there was no way that Azar was going to Bigfoot the FDA. But this kind of gives you, Brianna, a sense of where people's heads are at. They are very worried that this is not going to go through a normal process where career scientists get to evaluate the data, get to take it to an outside advisory committee. That advisory committee gets to debate it, and the public really gets to see that this is a vaccine that has gone through all of these appropriate channels.
Yeah, and if it doesn't, according to experts, it will be disastrous in the confidence that the public can have in this. Sarah, thank you so much. Fantastic reporting from you and Kevin there.